The Bitcoin price took an aggressive downturn earlier today or earlier this morning. And in this video, we're going to be diving on how that can affect the price of Verasity, how Bitcoin can really affect VRA. We're going to be having a look at a Bitcoin technical analysis, of course, at the beginning before we dive into VRA. But first, let's have a look at the whole Verasity situation. There's a lot of things and a lot of panic happening around VRA right now at the moment. A lot of people are saying that Verasity is done, even though this thing wicked all the way down to 0.057. Okay, so we saw a 25% decrease. Can and could have this been a massive opportunity, golden opportunity for you to buy the dip on VRA? We're talking right here about the daily time frame. Now, another thing that I want to talk about before getting into the chart is this thing right here that we're talking about on Monday, which is today, Monday 11th of December at 2 p.m. UTC time. Verasity CMO block writer, which is Elliot, I believe, he will be hosting a space to discuss VRAs and our strategy for 2024. So if you guys are a Verasity fan and if you guys are big into VRA, I would highly suggest diving into this space to obviously ask questions and learn more about Verasity. Verasity also has a Q4 burn that is supposed to happen around the corner. We know that every corner they are supposed to burn supply, and we could see right here that the supply is decreasing drastically. So last quarter the supply was 10 million or 10,305 million. Now the supply is 10,249 million. And how are they doing this? They're using anything from the VRA campaign to essentially buy back, purchase the tokens and burn those tokens. So obviously this is very interesting. Verasity right now is actually considered a deflationary token. If they are doing that, the more people are using VRA, the more burn they can actually do. So this is actually very bullish. Now, not a lot of people are using VRA, not a lot of people are talking about it. I know people are hyped about the technology of Verasity, and I am too, but of course it's only a matter of time before. Imagine what happens when Elon Musk starts to use VRA. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. Obviously there's a lot of speculation around, but imagine what happens when that actually happens. It could be very massive. So we could see right here that Verasity, the market cap sitting at $80 million, 24-hour traded volume is sitting at $32,678,000. Of course, the fully diluted market cap is something else. That's if the total supply were to be 100 billion tokens. Now we know that the 100 billion tokens are only for ads, and ad campaigns, they're not really, in their circling supply, and they will never ever be in the circling supply. So circling supply will remain at 10,249, if not lower. We will never see anything go higher and above that, in my opinion, in the Verasity ecosystem. So we got 154,000 people on the watch list. We know that Verasity price did take a nice downturn, and a crazy downturn right here, all the way from 82 to 77. Of course, I should say 57, because we saw a massive wick right here on some of the exchanges when Bitcoin took a massive downtrend. So we're going to be diving into TradingView to discuss about the Bitcoin first technical analysis, because we know that Bitcoin is king, Bitcoin's a leader, there's no question about that. We need to see Bitcoin dominance happen to go down. We need to see the Bitcoin dominance going down before we see a massive altcoin season. So can this be the start of a massive move for altcoins? In my opinion, yes. Let's dive into the charts on TradingView to see where this can potentially go. So first of all, right here, having a look at BTC Bitcoin, we know that Bitcoin's king, there's no question. We know that the whole market, as you guys can see right here on the right side of my screen, we know that the whole market is pretty much in red. We got BNB and OP in green. Of course, you're going to have some exceptions, but we could see that everything is pretty much following Bitcoin after this massive wick, all the way from $44,000 to right here, approximately $40,000. Okay, so obviously, pretty crazy bearish right here. And we could see right here that we did have a massive move, of course, on the stochastic RSI. We know historically that on a stochastic RSI, every time we are essentially oversold or overbought on the stochastic RSI, investors are going to be looking for another move. And we could see right here, we were overbought. Guess what happened? Bitcoin kind of corrected, right? It corrected just a little bit, okay, before going up right here. We were overbought right here. Guess what happened? Boom, came back down. down. Okay, this was the correction right here. So I'm not saying that these corrections have to be massive. It could be 1 to 2 days. Sometimes they're going to be bigger, but we could see every time we are pretty much overbought, we usually come back down. And the last time we were really oversold was this area right here. This was a pump and dump right here. This also was a pump and dump, so I'm not really going to count that. But once we came down right here, of course, after the FUD of, you know, the Binance FUD and CZ and everything, we saw a massive rally as soon as the stochastic RSI, the blue stochastic RSI crossed over the orange stochastic RSI, which brought Bitcoin all the way from $35,000 to $45,000 within a couple weeks. So obviously this is very good. The fact that we're seeing this pullback, in my opinion, it's very healthy on Bitcoin. I think once we get to this area right here, we should see the stochastic RSI curling up to the upside. We could see that it's already happening on the shorter time frame, on the 4-hour time frame right here. Of course, I would take the 4-hour time frame with just a grain of salt. Obviously the 4-hour time frame is very important as well, but we know that the daily time frame is also important. And remember guys, we are just the beginning of the week. The week just started. Okay, so if you have these dumps literally early in the week, you're most likely gonna have a pump in the end of the week. Okay, so obviously things are looking very good and very healthy. Yes, healthy for Bitcoin. Now, having a look at Verasity, we saw a massive wick to Verasity. Okay, a very bearish wick too. Okay, now this wick right here is not, I'm not gonna lie, it's not the most bullish wick. Okay, now Verasity obviously has been consolidating in this level right here for quite some time. I'm talking about, you know, in the 4-hour time frame since the 2nd of December, we've been consolidating for over a week in this area right here. And if you guys remember my video or my short, I said that Verasity was going to be getting ready for a massive move after this consolidation. Now, the bullish thing about this is that, yes, we were a little bit overbought right here on the stochastic RSI, even though we saw a little movement. Okay, another thing is that we could see right here the blues flipping over the orange. But like I said, guys, this is still the 4-hour time frame. I would take the stochastic RSI with a grain of salt. We could see that right here on the daily time frame on the stochastic RSI. It seems like Verasity is still on its way down. Now remember guys, the last time we had the big move on Verasity was approximately right here. Verasity did make a nice little move from 0.066 all the way up to 0.09. Of course, not the biggest move. I would like to see bigger moves from that. It was still a 40%, you know, increase. Obviously, if you are a whale, that's a lot of money. But right here, this would probably be the most important resistance right here for Verasity. Now, assuming we start to curl back up on the daily time frame right here, let's say starting tomorrow, we could see a massive cup and handle happening on VRA. Okay, this would be pretty much the cup. This would be the handle. Of course, assuming we don't close below this area right here on the daily time frame, because if we do, that would obviously be bad news bears. We could see right here that we did have some sort of consolidation. So this right here is some key level of support essentially. So we're gonna have to see what happens right here in the next 12 hours. These next 12 hours for Verasity are going to be very crucial in my opinion, not only for VRA but for Bitcoin as well. And the reason why is because Bitcoin's king, and I would highly suggest looking at Bitcoin as my analysis or as your overall analysis. So if you're taking a trade, look at the king first before taking trades and having a look at other charts. Okay, that's why in my videos, whether it's at the end of the video or at the beginning of the video, I always talk about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is king. It doesn't matter if news caused Bitcoin to dump. It doesn't matter if people were overlonged and were over leveraged and got everyone liquidated and Bitcoin decided to dump and altcoins started to dump. It does not matter. Bitcoin will always be king. It doesn't matter, and it will control altcoins. Now, something that I do want to talk about regarding the alt season, of course, is the Bitcoin dominance. Now, this is really quick before I end this video. In order to see an alt season, and especially for Verasity to see a massive pump, we need to see the Bitcoin dominance really coming back down. Okay, if we don't see the altcoin dominance coming back down, we're not gonna see anything. Now, this right here is a bearish candle on the weekly time frame. Okay, it's a bearish candle. The last time we saw this was approximately right here, I believe. When was the last time we saw this? And I think it was right here, and that's when we saw the massive altcoin season boom. Obviously, we saw another one right here, of course, back in 2017, and that's when we saw another massive altcoin season boom. So can we see right here, can this be the reversal for the Bitcoin dominance? Now remember guys, Just because Bitcoin dominance falls down, that does not mean that Bitcoin has to fall down. I'm not saying that Bitcoin needs to fall down. I'm saying that altcoins, more money needs to be flowing into altcoins than Bitcoin. That's it. That's what the Bitcoin dominance is. And that's how you are able to see an altcoin season. So that is my video, guys, on Verasity. I would not panic if I were you guys. Bitcoin's dumping, altcoins will dump. Keep holding, keep staking. If you guys like this video, of course, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, leave a like, and I will see you guys in my next video tomorrow.